Okay, y'all, I actually wasn't planning on filming anything today, but I thought this was a really good behind the scenes process of design boards. So I started a design board for a client here, and I do this on Canva. I have a template and I just customize it. Color palette, I'm doing some invitation stuff and ceremony. I'll do some mock-ups. And like I'm slowly plugging away at some details. And then I was starting to do some reception details, and that always kind of helps me really decide my color palette. And I decided to pull out some linen samples. I love having these handy at the house because I can just kind of go in and look at different patterns. So these ones are from Reverie Social. They're here. We have a rep here in Nashville. As a planner, you can usually request these for free, and they'll give you kind of the most recent and the most popular linen samples. But I've got a ton. So I went, and like all these bags too. So I went through and I pulled my favorites for this design, and I have so many. This is my first go around. I'm gonna go through again, and essentially what I was doing, I was going up to my color palette and just kind of putting linen swatches next to them and seeing, do I like this combo? I also pulled up their Pinterest board, and you see how like a lot of the images they pinned are really beautiful and like rich. I love this color combo. I love all these textures and patterns. So I pulled this up next to it, and I could see it. Like I could see this working with other details, like picture some rich burgundy flowers on here, like this right here. I think that would look amazing. And then, so essentially I'm just going through and seeing, like, I liked this at first glance. Would I still like to see this in a linen? Do I think the white backdrop should have been darker for this color palette? Maybe, but I'm gonna keep this as a maybe. Here's another one. This, I don't know, it's maybe a little too muted. Hard to say. And then I also pulled some velvet textures. Like, look at that. This could be for a cocktail table, or we are transforming the dinner space into a kind of speakeasy fun thing in the evening. So like this could be my evening linen, or maybe napkins, if that makes sense, with whatever linen we choose. So I'm pulling all sorts of different things that were calling to me when I first saw them. And now I just have to go through and see what I actually really like. I had to expand my workspace a little bit. Okay, so these are really all of my options. Already, I'm gonna say no to this one. I think it's too light. I also am kind of going for like a vintage botanical vibe, and I'm liking this more than this. This is almost like oil painting. It could work, but it's a little too gardeny, I think. These are not my favorite. I'm like really digging, I don't know, I like this. This has been done a little bit more lately, but I also still like it. Is it too light? I don't know. I mean, I could pair it with a deeper textured napkin. I'm really digging brown. For 2026, brown is really gonna be a popular color. So I probably choose that over black. This was gonna be like, it had a shimmer. Oh wait, is this the blue? Sorry, this is the blue. Where's the black? Here. This is the one. It had like a shimmer. I was thinking more for the Afterparty speakeasy thing, but also we could do even cooler. It's so hard, you guys, but I love this process. Like, it's fun to play with a few things. Okay, so I was like, I really want to see what this pattern looks like a little bit on a bigger scale. So I went up to their website. I was able to find what it looked like at a table. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to pick some of my favorites. I'm going to screenshot it with the name so I don't forget. And I'm going to go back to my mood board and start putting it in next to my reception details. And I just want to see what it looks like all together with, like, I'm going to pair it with napkins. And then all of my design clients and my full service planning clients will get a full wedding ceremony and reception mock-up. And I hire a sketch artist for this, and I basically put it into my quote, but they will take a look at the real space and sketch it out like as realistically as possible. So I want to make sure that when I present this mood board to my couple, that we have a good, like maybe 3 good options to show them. They will pick their favorite, and then I will go and have that sketched up. So I want to go through the mood board with them first and then get their thoughts. And after that, we will have a real sketch. Okay, I haven't made much progress. I don't know yet. I don't know on the linens. I'm not ready. Not ready. So instead, I'm going to move on to creating a floor plan of the space. space. This is only 80 people, so I have a lot of room to work with my seating arrangements. She wants it to, well, both of them wanted it to be like almost an art installation when they come in. I am gonna have to put, oh, did we decide? No, I don't think we're doing a bar inside anymore. There's like a big patio over here, so we're gonna do a big round bar, and we're gonna just have some cool experiential things happening over here after. But I'm wondering if I can just do a giant rectangle. Obviously I have to have some openings, so probably two. And I would love to do big flower installations in the middle, but TBD if the budget allows. Let's see what this looks like. Hey guys, I'm down here. I wanted to share my screen and show you where we're at with this design. I'm actually very excited about this one. I tend to like go really big on the initial design board with as many ideas, well, not as many ideas, but ideas and concepts that I can show them. And then when I have the meeting with them, we're gonna bring it in and they're gonna let me know their thoughts, and then we'll customize from there. And I also am adding prices as I go along, so I'll show you a little bit about that. Okay, my first page here, I've got just some notes, theme, venue notes, like they want possibly an LED dance floor, disco balls, that kind of stuff. Color palette, I think I showed this earlier when I was first starting the board. I really like this image. I'll just pick a random image that is in their Pinterest board if they've created one, and then I'll kind of customize it a little bit. Like there's no blues in here, but I thought maybe this like darker blue could be really pretty. I guess actually there is a little blue spot right there. So I really like this. Stationery. Okay, I've reached out to a stationer. These are just some Pinterest photos that I was like, okay, this is kind of like vintage botanical with some like 70s color. Like that chartreuse is really popping right now, and I like this deep kind of maroon. I list out the items that I want when I'm getting proposals. So I'm thinking I'll get a proposal for save the dates, invitations, RSVP cards, a details card, an envelope and liner. I think adding a cool liner is really key, like trendy these days. And I think it adds just a really great element to just set the tone for the style of this whole wedding. Then we're going to need some like day of signage stuff. So table numbers, name cards, bar sign. We're going to have a moonshine bar, guest book possibly. I think they want to do like video recordings as the guest book. So I want some type of signage there, a welcome sign for the ceremony, and then possible rentals from this company, a seating chart, which I have not dreamt up the design yet, but I will. And then a phone booth. So the phone booth idea is you've probably seen where you voice record, you have like this vintage phone and it's from a company, and the guests pick up the phone and they can record like a note to the couple. I think we could use the structure of the booth, but for video, if they want to do video recordings. So TBD on that. I have more room. I have so many thoughts with this that I left some of it blank so far, but that's okay. We've got lots of time. Okay, ceremony. So when I start browsing again their Pinterest board. I look for things that are exciting to me and also understanding the venue that we're going to be at. So I think I have a picture here. Here's the ceremony space. I'm said coming soon because I will do a 3D rendering. I hire someone to do the 3D renderings, but this is just an idea of the space that we're going to work with. So I thought a wavy ceremony would be really cool. I know they want to do some ground arrangements, and I have a plan to repurpose all of these later on. So it will be higher cost on the invoice, but I am going to use them throughout the evening. So notes that I put in here: wavy aisle, ground arrangements at altar and aisle arrangements. Repurpose these for the DJ and also in the middle of the reception tables. I'll show you that next. We are going to be using ghost chairs. I have a photo of that here. Those are included with the venue, so we might as well use them. Umbrella. Also, this is an extra charge, but the venue has them to rent, so I'm going to add that in my cart with the venue. They want to do a pre-ceremony champagne cart. So far, I haven't found, with the rental company that I'm thinking of, I haven't found a cart. So right now I'm going to propose a 4-foot bar with a custom wallpaper in the middle. So I don't know if you can see, let me move this, zoom in. So this is literally just a cutout I put in here just for the vibe of it. This is a linen pattern that we're going to be using later on in the design board for reception, but I liked this and I was like, ooh, something like that. We could do a peel and stick. I know the rental company does allow us to do that. So if we could find some type of pattern like that and have it placed in the middle, I think that adds like a really cool pop of color. And then we'll have a welcome sign. Again, don't totally know what that's going to look like yet. It's going to be a very short ceremony. So they're like, we don't want to blow our whole budget on the ceremony items. Totally get it. So we might just do like a simple welcome sign. Oh, and then champagne coupes. I love the look of a coupe more than a flute. And they're maybe not as convenient to hold, but I just like the look of them. It's a vibe. So I think I want the coupes. Okay, then we will be doing a mock-up. Once I get the approval essentially from the couple that they like this design so far, then I will hire someone to do the 3D rendering. But for now, we're just gonna leave it like this. Okay, next we move on to cocktail hour. So I have two options. Option one is I'm pulling rentals from the venue. It's called Nichols Air. I've added all of these numbers up. I pulled, essentially what I do is I go on the website. This is not it. This is the rental company website, but I will screenshot the item. I will upload it in my uploads on Canva. And then when I add it, like for example, let's just do this chair. See how it has a white backdrop on it? I always make sure to do the backdrop remover so that I can layer these items and make it seem like it's on top of the rug and stuff like that. So I am proposing 2 lounge sets, one with a little fire pit. These are all part of the venue's inventory. So loving that and wanted to show what we can do with what they have. The little lamps are rented from the second rental company that we're going to need for tabletop and all this kind of the linens and stuff like that. So that is separate. The venue includes cocktail tables. I just have to rent linens. So I suggested this linen. And essentially just a note for florals, maybe adding some small disco balls within the floral arrangements here. And this is more like the masculine kind of lounge area for the men or the women. It doesn't matter, but less room for florals here. Maybe no florals, in fact. Okay. Also, they wanted some games at cocktail hour. So I've added Giant Jenga so far, and we might find some more. Okay. Option 2. This is if I am pulling from the other rental company. And as you can see, I'm not done. Here we are. We'll have a final product video eventually. And actually in that video, I'll make sure to show the mock-ups for you guys. So essentially I was on this website for the rental company. They would be coming from Nashville all the way to the Smoky Mountains. So it is going to be a little bit of a higher delivery fee, but well worth it. We've done this before. I pulled just some cool, like totally different setups, right? So I'm thinking of doing these 2 chairs with a little bistro table, just for like a vibe, just a cool, it only seats 2 people. I understand it's not a lot of seating, but I think that'd be really cute. Then I'm going to do, again, a little more leather, masculine type of lounge furniture. And sometimes I just go around and I spend hours just looking through some of these items. Let's see. Like there's so many great pieces to choose from. And I just go back and forth. And sometimes I will screenshot something, put it on my mood board and realize I don't like it. Like I think this chair, I ended up not liking it with the other lounge setting. So I didn't use it. So I still have to complete this, but essentially I'm going to present them 2 options and I will present them a cost. So that's the difference here is so far we've got $75 for the Giant Jenga for the venue rentals. But if we're doing an outside rental company, which we are going to have to anyway for plates and glassware, I'm going to show them what the cost of the lounges are through that other rental company. So that's that. Okay. Linens are going to have come through the other rental company anyway. I am toying with the idea of doing that pattern linen on this table, and then maybe this the same mossy green on the cocktail tables. Moving right along. Here we will have the cocktail hour mock-up. So I'll have a picture again of once we decide the final design of the cocktail hour, I will have a 3D rendering of it. Reception details. So this is where it gets a little bit more fun. And I pulled some pairings. So unfortunately, I don't know why these photos aren't showing up. This is supposed to be matte black flatware. Like, where are you? I don't think I deleted, here it is, but I don't think I deleted it. Okay, well, I'll have to find a new photo. Matte black flatware. I am thinking of doing this linen. Again, it's the same pattern that's following from the welcome bar to the cocktail hour to the reception tables, and then that moss as a napkin. I thought it could be kind of cool to do this like black and white charger plate and then just a standard white coupe plate on top. In fact, I think we're going to be doing stations. So these will probably be at the buffet station. So honestly, I don't go crazy on like the look of the plates. If they're at a station, I think it's just wasted money, honestly, because they're not even in photos. So like I'm getting the cheapest white plate. Now, this linen was originally I think is it still here? It's this one. There we go. I don't know why I took it out. So it's going to be an option where if we didn't do a pattern linen, if we did just a kind of chartreuse velvet linen, I would be interested in putting these plates as as chargers. Now, there are dinner size plates, but you can totally get away with putting that down as a charger just for the look of it, and then putting some standard white plates at the stations and like swap, come by and take it before guests sit down or something like that, or before guests come back with their plate. Or they can just take this plate up to the buffet station, totally fine. But I thought this would be a nice like option 1, option 2, like how much pattern do they want? Now, for this table, I could do the pattern linen as a nap. That could be an option. So I'm kind of digging this, kind of liking this. Velvet. So this wedding's gonna be in September. Velvet feels appropriate for fall. Yeah, being it out, having servers. I kind of like that. Then I'm gonna do some lights, 2 per 8-foot tables. So we will have some florals. I think I love these little black touch lamps. I am TBD on candles. I think I want some, but they might just be low votive candles to complement the glow of this light. But I don't think I want tall candles. TBD. Okay, buckle up for this layout though. Here's option number 1. So this is only 70 to 80 guests that we're having, and this might in fact be too many tables. I might be able to cut 4 away, possibly. The couple said they wanted the reception layout to be like an art installation. And I was like, say less, this is so fun. And I've been wanting to do something kind of crazy like this. So the idea would be, and actually these little lamps are supposed to be the black lamps. I need to replace that. Let me just remove those before I forget. So I'm just gonna copy this, paste, reduce to a tiny little speck. And then I just go around and duplicate it. And then essentially I'll remove these. I'm not going to do it all now, but I'll copy this group, paste it, put it in. There we go. Okay, so I'll go around and do that later. I also need to swap out this linen pattern. I originally had this blue one, but I changed my mind. So where's my new, like this one? This is probably, let's get closer, shall we? I feel like we're doing this from so far away. I had to make up the look of a napkin. So like I kind of do this, make it really small. Okay, well, that's a different size, whatever. You know what I mean? Like I had to just take the pattern, screenshot the pattern, and put it across. Now, this is obviously the option with the standard chartreuse linen, but I will probably show them an option if we did this linen pattern as the main linen and then did the moss as a napkin. So I'll probably show like half the room with this, half the room with that. I'm thinking of putting their sweetheart table in the center if they are vibing with that. And here's where I'm repurposing the ceremony arrangements. I don't know how exactly yet. It has to have room for chairs on each side. Is it going to be on the ground? Is it going to be elevated? Do I want some pedestals? I don't know yet. I think that's a conversation that I need to have with myself and maybe the florist, and also get quotes for like all those options. Okay, my second layout that I'm going to propose is more of like a U shape with the florals blocking this part. So really I'm kind of losing this side of the table, this side, and obviously these sides, but it would just kind of be a big U shape. I have to have a break in the middle, obviously, for people to get in and out and for servers to clear. And then I wasn't sure about the sweetheart table. Do I want it there? Is it random? Do I do a square table, something, you know, I don't know. Haven't decided. I did show the bride a screenshot of this, and I was like, what are your thoughts? And she was like, wait, I kind of love this. So fingers crossed, I'm like really digging this one. Okay, I mean, that's where I'm at right now. So next step, I'm gonna be putting some floral photos together. The lounge we already did actually, so I'm gonna delete this page. The bar, I do still have to put together kind of a bar thing. I'm gonna move that over to reception details. I have to pull I have to pull rentals for that. The venue does include bars. We're gonna do a big 360-degree bar on the patio outside the venue. So like obviously we could do something small here. My big thing is that later in the evening, we are going to break down half of the room. This is my vision. We're going to break down half the room, and we're going to send people to the dance area, which is a little further down on this lawn area. We'll have a black and white checkered dance floor and a DJ on a stage. It'll be really cool. And then we're going to turn this into kind of a little bit of an after party speakeasy vibe. I'm going to have, this is what I could do, I guess, now that I'm saying this out loud. We're going to have a moonshine tasting, and I could convince them to put a bar in here for dinner, then flips to moonshine moonshine tasting. That could be a possibility. And then I think we're going to have like a really cool photo booth. I want to repurpose the flowers. This is where I would probably do flowers on pedestal as like the backdrop of this photo booth. And I can picture like just a cool, some disco balls or stuff like that. I do have to incorporate more disco balls in this design. I just remembered. And then I don't know, I think we're going to do like desserts and like cool stuff in here. My only fear with this is I hate breaking up the party. So I don't necessarily love the idea of splitting up the dancing and this speakeasy. Like, I don't want there to only be 10 people left on the dance floor. And I also don't want there to be like no one coming up and getting desserts. So I have to have a think on that. In my dream world, we would flip the whole space into dancing with a speakeasy in it, like do the checkered dance floor somewhere there. But I just don't think I can get them out after dinner for a long enough period of time for them not to be like, what are we doing? You know, like it's almost like I needed a cocktail hour after dinner. Could I do that? Is that weird? I have to think. So, like, these are the things I have to think of the flow as I'm going. But anyway, something will happen and I'll report back. Desserts. So that's also something I'm going to move over here next to bar, or really, no, they can actually be there. Floral should be at the beginning because that's like early stuff. Yeah, desserts. And then I'm going to probably add a ton more slides. Like at the end, I typically do like next step info, but I will probably do like quotes, more rental totals, floral totals, well, not catering, but other totals. But I'm going to definitely be elaborating on this a little bit more. I pick the specific pieces that I want in the design board. I get quotes. I see what works. I come up with ideas. I need to do a little more flow stuff, and I need to do the after party flip. So actually, I'm going to duplicate this. I'm going to move it down here, and we're going to be like, I'm going to call this speakeasy. Let's say we break down half the room, and then I just got to figure out, what do I want to do here? Open to your ideas if you guys have some great thoughts. But yeah, that's a little behind the scenes of my mood board creating, and would love to know your thoughts. What do you think of this? Like, would you dig this? Also, disregard the Ganesh table. I had to use an old floor plan that I literally put a white square on top. Long story short, doesn't even matter, but this is irrelevant. So I need to put like a white square on it. Okay. Anyway, thanks so much for tuning in, guys. I'm glad you're here. Let me know in the comments what you think. And by the way, if you want more of this stuff, come join me over on the membership side of things, because that's where I'm going to do like more in-depth things. We're also going to talk about fora, like more how-tos and hand-holding during this process, because I know a lot of you are getting started, and I don't really do one-on-one coaching. I really prefer to do kind of this stuff for everybody, but the membership is where I'm able to spend a little more time with a smaller group of people and do more teaching and show you like hands-on, maybe we'll build a mood board together, or I can use ideas that you guys are having and that you're maybe struggling with creating and designing, and we can talk about that. Okay, as always, thanks for tuning in. Bye.